The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of Isabela has recorded more than 2 billion pesos worth of damages in agriculture and infrastructure after the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita. John Nano will tell us why.
Based on the assessment of the PDRRMC, Typhoon Rosita leaves 1 billion peso worth of damage in the agricultural sector and another 1 billion pesos in infrastructure in the province of Isabela. Several hectares of rice fields were devastated, as well as corns, bananas, vegetables, and other agricultural products. Some schools, buildings, gasoline station, and other business establishments were also destroyed by the typhoon, including the Typhoon Bridge in Rojas, Isabela. This is the bridge that connects the Isabela and Cagayan provinces. The Typhoon Bridge was damaged due to the strong river current during the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita.
Ang province ng Isabela, ang lahat na naapekto ng aming mga kababayan nasa 85,000. 42,000 ay napunta sa mga evacuation centers. Ang totally blown na mga bahay ay nasa 1,800 plus. 12,000, more than 12,000 ang partially damaged na mga bayan. Ang estimated infrastructure damage ay nasa 1.1 billion. Ganun din sa agriculture, about close to 1.1 billion pesos.
Meanwhile, the PDRRMC also clarifies that they have zero casualty after the typhoon. They denied the news that came out about a 40-year-old man who was killed after he was allegedly swept by flash flood in Rojas, Isabela. The PDRRMC explains that based on the investigation of SOCO, the said man was dead 7 days earlier before the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita last Tuesday dawn. 2 days after the typhoon, the residents are still working in rebuilding their houses and their lives are getting back to normal. On the other hand, the Isabela Electric Cooperative is still working to fix all the damaged electric posts to regain power supply in entire province. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Kawayan, Isabela.
Typhoon Rosita left a devastating impact on the country's agriculture sector, according to the Department of Agriculture. Post-calamity assessment reported by the DA states that the amount of damage caused by Rosita reached more than 123 million pesos. The typhoon devastated most parts of agriculture in Regions 1 and 3 and the Cordillera Administrative Region. This included around 8 hectares of farmland, equivalent to 7,000 metric tons of palay and other high-value crops. The DA said that in Pangasinan and La Union alone, the damage has already reached 10 million pesos from the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita. Rosita made landfall in Isabela early Tuesday and battered northern Luzon and central Luzon before it left the Philippine area of responsibility on Wednesday. Meanwhile, at least 21 individuals remain missing in a massive landslide that buried a building of the Department of Public Works and Highways in Habawel village in Natonin Mountain Province. Rescue workers continue to search for survivors after 6 individuals were pulled out alive on Wednesday. At least 8 people were reported killed after loose soil and boulders covered a DPWH building when Typhoon Rosita battered the region on Tuesday. The DPWH also reports that they are now clearing debris from roads going to Natonin, which were blocked by 15 other major landslides. The situation made it harder for additional responders carrying supplies and heavy equipment to reach the town of Natonin. The town has already been placed under a state of calamity. The local government of Baler, Aurora has lifted a suspension on all tourism-related activities in the municipality following the onslaught of Typhoon Rosita. Nel Maribohok tells us why.
2 days after Typhoon Rosita battered several provinces in Luzon, clear skies and calm seas have now prevailed in the town of Baler in Aurora. With this, the local government has decided to lift the suspension on all tourism-related activities to cater to visitors who have come to spend their long weekend in the town.
Para mapagbigyan kasi ang dami ng mga turista ngayon dito sa atin.
Baler is most popular for surfing, but it also offers all kinds of water and mountain activities. Tourist arrivals in Baler have shot up since the lifting of suspension was announced Wednesday.
Kasi yung mga bata kasi sabi sila mag-surfing kasi maganda mag-surfing dito sa Baler. Tsaka mapresko yung hangin para kahit papaano ba mawala yung stress sa Manila. Kahit mga ilang araw lang, kahit undas, nandito kami.
You know what? Kasi maganda ang view niya, saka From what my sister said to me, maganda daw ang dagat. And all the surfings, especially right now.
Stall owners and surfing instructors in Baler hope they will be able to earn money now that tourists have started to arrive after the onslaught of the storm.
Wala po kaming kita, wala pong turistang dumating. So okay lang naman po. Marami pa naman pong araw na darating.
Medyo matumal kasi may bagyo eh. Okay lang naman pagka maraming turista.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Baler, Aurora.
The Boracay Interagency Task Force will again allow selected water sports activities at the island beginning this month. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Starting November 3, tourists may again do non-motorized water activities such as parasailing, kayaking, kite surfing, and snorkeling on the Paradise Island that reopened on October 26 after a 6-month rehabilitation. While on November 7, visitors may again engage in water activities like riding on towables such as banana boat and fly fish, jet skiing, diving, and parasailing. These water sports activities will be part of Boracay Sustainable Marine Tourism and will be allowed by batches. The task force also designated zones to regulate each water sports in order to protect the corals and other marine life in the waters surrounding Boracay.
Now, all the water sports activity, we agree that should be pre-booked, pre-arranged. And of course, we already designated where the boats can only do their anchorage, and at the same time where they can also pick up.
The task force is reminding tourists to avoid transacting with free agents who roam and position themselves along the White Beach about the water sports activities, as they are not accredited by the task force. Instead, the tourists are advised to coordinate with registered tour guides operators or with their hotel or resort staff for various water activities in Boracay.
We talk with the Compliant Association of Boracay that they should cater now the marketing of these water sports activities.
Boat or island hopping, on the other hand, will be permitted starting November 15 but will only be limited within the main island of Boracay. This is until the Malay LGU has done inspecting the surrounding islands in relation to the implementation of environmental laws.
We prohibited first the BIHA or the Boracay Island Hopping Association to go there because we requested the LGU Malay to do first the environmental compliance of the operators there in the small island.
After checking if operators in islands surrounding Boracay are compliant to the existing environmental laws, they will then be listed as island hopping destinations. The Sustainable Marine Tourism was allowed after the task force has completed its assessment of the coral condition, fish population, and anchorage area surrounding the island. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Boracay.
President Duterte is eyeing to announce the names of his 2019 senatorial bets, which he plans to campaign this December. Duterte, however, assures he will not force the people to support his candidates, but urge them not to vote for those he thinks do not deserve to win. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
President Rodrigo Duterte is looking to begin campaigning for his senatorial bets in December 2018 after revealing his list of recommended candidates for the May 2019 midterm national elections. The chief executive made the statement during his speech for the distribution of Certificate of Land Ownership Award for Region 10 in Cagayan de Oro City on Wednesday.
Ako lang pasagdi ko kay Presidente Mango. Usara man pud ko. Onya, ang presidente is always a politician because he is elected by the people. So mo kampanya ko sa mga lugar, dili paron after Christmas. Then I will announce my choices of kinsa tong mga tao.
He assures the public that he will only recommend those he believes are not corrupt and have the capacity.
Musuporta ko basta dili ka corrupt. Onya, may kapasidad ka.
The chief executive also says he will not force the people to support his bets. However, he advised the public not to support those he believes do not deserve to win a post.
Igo lang ko muhatag sa inyo og rekomendasyon. Og di niyo dawaton, dito mo bahala mo. O adto mo kang Trillanes, kanang iyang magdalo, sige. Wala na buhaton, o di magsinamok diya sa asa kitang magrevolusyon, magdadag armas pagkahuman masenador.
In the end, the chief executive called on his cabinet members as well as the personnel of the military and police not to engage in partisan politics. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue.
The Philippine government immediately sends a consular team to Saipan after Typhoon U2 lashed the northern Marianas Island last week, which affected several Filipinos. Ray Pelayo tells us why in this exclusive report.
The Department of Foreign Affairs confirms that the consulate office in Agana, Guam has already sent a team to assist overseas Filipino workers badly affected by Typhoon U2 since it lashed the island on October 24. In a statement, the DFA said that Consul General Marciano de Borja assured that aside from distributing the cash assistance, Vice Consul Alex Vallaspin and Assistance to Nationals Officer Juliet Simbul will also check and assess the conditions of the Filipino community in the island and meet with Saipan officials. On Wednesday, some of the affected Filipino coordinated with UNTV News to help them reach the government because the Saipan government does not provide calamity aid to non-citizens such as Filipinos. Consul General de Borja said some Filipino were reported to have lost their houses in the typhoon and have limited access to food and water. Among them is Jun Capili, who has been staying in a shelter for 7 days now along with other Filipinos.
Ang tumulong sa amin dito kaya kami kumakain ay
mula sa US government.
Hindi.
Mula sa
kandidato.
Some of them decided to return to their houses but still needed to do some massive repair on the damages.
Away because my house was halfway destroyed. All the roof was blown away. My kitchen, living room, the 2 rooms, no more roof.
The typhoon also badly affected the jobs of some Filipinos.
Ilan taon na kayo rito sa Saipan?
23.
23. Okay, kumusta ang trabaho mo?
Okay lang.
Okay lang. So ngayon papasok ka.
Shutdown kasi ang mga hotel ngayon.
According to Consul General de Borja, there are about 6,000 Filipino workers among the estimated 15,000 members of the Filipino community in Saipan, the largest island in the Northern Marianas. Jimmy Blancia, who works in a local radio station, was thankful that the Philippine government immediately acted on their call for assistance.
So kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa ating national government on behalf of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte ay taos po kami nagpapasalamat sa inyo na tinugunan po ninyo ang aming panawagan na pabigyan ng mga asistensya ating mga kababayan dito po sa Senimay, Saipan. Maraming pong salamat.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue.
19 Filipino women who have been arrested in a raid in a Halloween party in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia have been released for the meantime, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Saudi authorities agreed to release the Filipinos to the custody of the Philippine embassy in Riyadh. The 19 women were among several Saudi and foreign nationals who were arrested while partying at a private compound in Riyadh last Friday. The compound was raided after neighbors complained of loud noise from the party. Philippine Ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Adnan Alonto, said authorities might still file charges against the Filipinos for violating Sharia, which prohibits interaction, especially in public, among unattached people. The embassy has issued an advisory calling on members of the Filipino community to be mindful of local sensitivities and to respect the laws and traditions of the kingdom. Crowd volume at the Manila North Cemetery has already crossed the 1 million mark on Thursday. Police also called on the public anew to refrain from bringing prohibited materials inside the facility. From Manila North Cemetery, Asher Cadapan Jr. will tell us why live. Yes, Asher, good evening.
Good evening, Rheena. As of 7 p.m. tonight, the estimated number of people who visited here in Manila North Cemetery reaches up to 1.4 million people, and thousands of more continue to come. Along this number are hundreds of prohibited items confiscated by authorities. The police force forbids entry of items such as deadly weapons, including or knife, under bladed materials. Authorities also restrict bringing in of flammable chemicals such as liquors, alcohol, and perfume. Other confiscated items are materials for painting, garden tools, speakers, cigarettes, gambling materials, and such. These are being confiscated from thousands of visitors of Manila North Cemetery, where massive people started coming at around 9 o'clock in the morning. The queue at the main entrance of the cemetery now just takes about less than a minute, but earlier it was taking about 20 minutes for an individual to go inside the cemetery, undergoing checking of bags and frisking. The road inside the cemetery have also been flocked with people. Senior citizens, pregnant, and persons with disability are being assisted in going inside through service vehicles. UNTV News and Rescue Team, along with other rescue groups, are also on standby inside and outside of the cemetery to provide first aid medical assistance for those in need. A number of kids were also reported missing, but were immediately found as they were provided with name tags along with a parent's contact number. Rheena, as visitors here in Manila North Cemetery go home, authorities advise them to bring home with them their garbages to help the local government maintain cleanliness in this surrounding. Rheena?
Thank you so much, Asher Kadapan Jr. reporting live from Manila North Cemetery. The Philippine National Police steps up its security measures as thousands flock to Manila South Cemetery for Undas. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
Police have tightened the security in Manila South Cemetery as visitors continue to arrive for the Catholic's annual observance of Undas. Since dawn of Thursday, more than 650,000 people have arrived in the Manila South Cemetery, which is way more than the estimated crowd of 24,000 by the PNP on the first day.
So mas marami today, and siguro bukas baka medyo mga naka-naka na, pero this afternoon we expect another yung buhos ng tao, especially pag alis na ng sikat ng araw, baka ay dadami pa rin at mag-i-increase pa yung ating crowd estimate.
Police have deployed 165 of its personnel to monitor the security at the main entrance and the whole vicinity. Authorities have also initiated putting a name tag on children with contact numbers to easily locate their parents if they went missing. And despite their constant reminder to the public, police still confiscated many prohibited materials brought by visitors such as kitchen knives, scissors, and other bladed and pointed weapons, flammable items, firearms, gardening tools, and objects used for gambling.
Since from the very start, nag-iigpit naman tayo, pero ito ay atin pa rin iigtingin to maintain doon sa safeguard ng mga taong bumibisita.
Ang sinisiguro ko lang po, secure pa tayo dito sa loob ng Manila South Cemetery. Iwasan lang po natin idalhin yung mga bawal na pinagbabawal natin sa loob ng sementeryo, tulad po ng mga matutulis na bagay. Bawal na rin po yung pintura, bawal na rin po yung sasakyan dito, bawal na rin po dito yung mga gamit sa pagsusugal, at lalong-lalo na po yung firearms tsaka yung droga.
A 19-year-old was also taken to the Santa Ana police station for investigation after he was found possessing 19 sachets of marijuana. The packets were found hidden inside an umbrella during an inspection. Meanwhile, there are 4 to 6 garbage trucks collecting waste in and out of the cemetery, but the public is reminded to bring home their trash and to avoid littering. Volunteer groups, including UNTV News and Rescue Team, also stationed in the area to offer first aid and assistance, especially to senior citizens. As of 6 p.m. Thursday, around 65 individuals were assisted after they experienced dizziness, sustained cuts, and other cases. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Many travelers take advantage of Undas holidays to travel to provinces and abroad to take a vacation. But on the first day of Undas break, airport authorities reported a lighter passenger traffic at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Mai Bermudez tells us why.
Undas dates this year fell on a long weekend, prompting many to travel to other parts of the country and abroad to take advantage of the holidays. But on the first day of Undas holidays, passenger traffic at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport was lighter than expected. According to airport authorities, they have observed that the number of travelers appears to have been concentrated on the eve of Undas. Based on the data provided by the Manila International Airport Authority, more than 122,000 passengers arrived at and departed from the NAIA on October 31. This is higher compared to the 108,000 passengers recorded in the same date last year. Passengers who opted to fly on Thursday breezily went through the check-in and boarding process due to lesser queuing.
Sana walang delay. Kasi same break. Ayaw na makipagsabayan. 27 lang kami pumunta dito eh.
Okay lang. Pero sa ngayon, pabalik, traffic na ngayon. Itong pabalik, hindi namin alam. Kasi nung pumunta kami dito, maganda. Pero itong pagbalik, hindi namin alam.
Australian Callum Donovan also expressed satisfaction over his experience while staying in the country. He flew to Singapore today after a 5-day business trip in the Philippines.
Oh, I love the Philippines. People are very nice and food is lovely.
Airport authorities meanwhile expect an increase in volume of passengers by Sunday or Monday after the long weekend. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
The Philippine National Police reminds the public to avoid uploading photos, their travel itinerary, and at the moment or ATM post on social media during Undas break. Leia Ilagan explains why.
During Undas holidays in the country, thousands of Filipinos go to cemeteries or travel to provinces for a much-needed vacation. Some who are active in social media would even upload photos and information of their whereabouts and their travel plans. But the Philippine National Police warns putting at the moment or ATM post on social media is dangerous as this may be used by lawless elements to gather information about a person or be viewed by criminals as invitation, thinking that their houses are easier to rob.
Mga magnanakaw, nagso-social media din yan, no? So that is a sure way of inviting disaster, inviting these criminal elements to do their own thing, at our own expense.
The PNP advises netizens that instead of posting at the moment location and photos, they should just upload their pictures when they have already returned from their trips. Police also urges social media users to be wary of accepting invites and friend requests from unknown people.
For your own safety and for your own it's a way of socializing with others. Talagang be discerning and prudent in accepting Facebook friends. Yeah.
The PNP also advises those who will travel this long weekend not to let people know that they are leaving their homes unattended, to make sure that their doors are locked and their appliances are unplugged, to close their curtains to prevent outsiders from peeking in, and to ask a trusted neighbor or friend to watch over their property. All police units nationwide have been placed under full alert status in anticipation of the exodus of people engaging in Undas-related activities. The PNP will remain under full alert status until November 3, Saturday at 6 a.m. Leia Ilagan, UNTV. Leia Ilagan, UNTV. News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The city government of Tacloban is looking to unveil another shrine during the commemoration of the 5th year of Typhoon Yolanda. Victor Cosare tells us why.
It was in November 2013 when Super Typhoon Yolanda ravaged several towns in the Visayas region. Among the areas heavily hit by the Super Typhoon was Tacloban City in Leyte, where 6,000 people were reportedly killed and over 1,000 went missing due to floods and storm surges. It also left widespread damages in agriculture, infrastructure, and properties. Elena Cadan could never forget the day when Yolanda battered her city. She survived the powerful storm, but she lost her 4 children. The bodies of her children were never found, but she regularly visits the Holy Cross mass grave to remember her kids.
Dere ako sure kung ani good man itera din ni itera lawas. Nakabati na nga ni ako baga tagak-takit diret mga semit tanan toro-toro na hinumdum ako para mamintihan akong mga anak ano nam naging kabutang. Hanakad doon akong usang anak igbawang bubong na nangangarong bulig.
It has been years since the monstrous storm pummeled Tacloban, but for Maribel Lerios, the pain of losing her family still felt raw. Her child and 7 of her nephews and nieces died after they were trapped in a flooded evacuation center.
Kaya na akong anak nagtrabaho niya 578. At kaya itong huibis, naghapdi pa man nagpaswildo. Wala na umuli. Tuha amon. Anak bugto kay di naman nakapaturan giyap di ng kantin. Ira na nagburbunyog nga duha. 7 nga na nang patay takaw mangkunan. Natrap man hira dito sa Kuban Evacuation Center. Wala magpakagawas.
The Tacloban City is set to commemorate the 5th year of Typhoon Yolanda next week. It has prepared several activities, including the unveiling of another shrine built at the Holy Cross mass grave to remember the thousands of its residents who perished amid the widespread destruction brought by the typhoon. The construction of the landmark is still ongoing, and the city government looks to complete the project prior to the commemoration. In the previous years, several landmarks were unveiled in the city, including the Anibong Memorial Landmark, which is the site of the ship that washed ashore during the height of the superstorm. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.